I want to thank all of you for being here today, and I think our main message today is that the Justice Act is working towards a solution, and it's not a political exercise. I said the other day on an interview I had, and I was just sitting there thinking about it, that if this is a pivotal moment in our country's history, and if we as Congress, as Republicans and Democrats joining together, fail to act because of the crying voices that we hear every day about this, then we're going to be deemed a failure in the eyes of so many, not just our communities of color, but our young people are losing faith and trust in our law enforcement and in our ability to react to situations where we can be helpful and where we should be helpful. So racial discrimination has no place in this country. I think of a mother who is telling her young black son how to react when you get pulled over in a car, a much different conversation than many other people in this country are having with their young sons, talking about how to react. And that young man doesn't know how he's going to be received by the officer, and the fear, really, that you would feel in that situation is very, very real. So many of us are overwhelmed by what we've seen with the George Floyd situation and what we saw happening in Minneapolis. But we do know that the vast majority of the police officers in this country are good people. These are hard jobs. These are jobs that people have in their hearts and communities to want to keep their communities safe, to want to have places to raise their families that are safe, and that are dedicated to the rule of law. And so I think this is a moment to spur us to action so that every American citizen will know that equal protection means that. It means equal protection. And we go back, as James said, to the Constitution and the rights that are provided. But it doesn't mean defunding the police. It means improving the police, improving and restoring the faith in our law enforcement. And that's what the Justice Act does. One of the conversations that Tim and I had just recently was about the chokehold situation. And I said, after watching the George Floyd tape more than a few times, we've got to get rid of these. Many states, many communities, many law enforcement communities had already abandoned that as a technique and a tactic. And so I'm pleased that we've gone in that direction, and we think the result would be an elimination of the chokehold as a strategy of restraint. So I think that there's absolutely no conflict between being pro-civil rights and pro-law enforcement, and I think that's what you see reflected in this bill. So to my colleagues on the other side, we need to have this conversation in front of the American people on the House of the U.S. Senate, on the floor of the U.S. Senate, where we can debate different ideas, debate different strategies, compromise like we do when we need to and we should, and not be a failure to the people and the voices who are crying out daily for us to help. So thank you, Tim, for your leadership, and thank all of you on the team. And this isn't the whole team. The rest of many, many people have weighed in on this, not just within the Senate, but also throughout the country. And I thank them for that. Thank you.